Question number 12, Clayton Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Social Development and asked, does she stand by all of her statements?
Honourable Anne Tully.
Mr Speaker, yes.
Supplementary
question, Clayton Mitchell.
Why did she backtrack on her recent statement regarding migrant workers, quote, "We must be careful we don't fill up all the spaces with immigrants"?
Honourable Anne Tully.
Mr Speaker, in fact, I did not backtrack. That was part of a very long, complex interview, and the Gisborne Herald, when I complained about those comments, actually printed a retraction and the full transcript of the conversation, the radio interview that I had completed.
Supplementary question.
Order. Supplementary question, Clayton Mitchell.
Can she explain why New Zealand job seekers are not equipped to take the spaces she talks about, like the thousands at the Cricket World Cup and seasonal positions that so many migrant workers have come here for?
Honourable Anne Tully.
Well, Mr Speaker, as I said in that radio interview that the member referred to, this is a very complex issue. And so we have to be very careful. And the government is very clear that it wants New Zealanders to have access to jobs first and foremost. And so everything that we do through work and income, through our immigration policies is predicated on that. But there are times when our growers in particular, and the member comes from an area that needs seasonal employment, there are times when New Zealand workers aren't enough, and we have to provide for some migrant workers in order to get those crops to market.
Supplementary question, Clayton Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Would the Minister support tax breaks for employers so that they can afford to pay first world wages and reduce the number of job seekers instead of taking the cheap option of abusing the goodwill of migrant workers? If not, why not?
Order.
Honourable Anne Tully.
Mr Speaker, well, it is a bit rich coming from a party that doesn't even believe in migrant workers, but however, there is a great deal of support offered to employers in order to ensure they give support to the New Zealand workers. And the issue I was discussing in that radio interview is the difficulty where we have some isolated rural communities where there aren't the jobs available and other areas where there are jobs available. And that's why this government has put into place the 3K to Christchurch, where almost over 1,000 people now have taken advantage of that, and we've been able to move mainly young people into good jobs, good paying jobs down in Christchurch. This government intends to roll out more of that sort of support to make sure New Zealand workers get those jobs.
That concludes questions for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.